Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to this extra video. It is a review of A Sign of Her Own by Sarah Marsh. Now, I can't hold that all the time. I don't normally do review videos, but like I did, I put a poll up and I spoke about whether you wanted me to do more separate reviews. And I've decided that once a month I'm going to pick out a book, either be a top book of the month or just a book. So I'm not going to do too many reviews. But a book that's really stood out to me in the month, I'm going to do like a review every month of one particular book. If it goes well, I may increase that. If I'm busy in the month, I may decrease it. But we're going to go for, because you know what I'm like with schedules. I do like to have sort of set routines. But this book, I felt that even though I've done a review on Instagram, the same review's gone up on Goodreads and on Amazon, I personally feel that my words are not enough, and that's something that does connect to what this book is about. Now, yes, I did get sent this book as an ad PR product by Tandem Collective to review the book. It was for a tandem read along, but so obviously I did get sent it to review, but they didn't ask me to do a video. That's not something they've asked, so this is an extra thing that I wanted to do. Sarah, the author's, not asked me to do it. I just wanted to do it for my sake and for you guys, because something that this book really meant to me was that I felt that my written words, I struggle with at the best of times, because my brain works faster than I can write. But this book connected to me on a lot of very, very real levels. As you know, I'm an own voices for this because I am partially deaf. This is about a completely deaf young lady, but I am partially deaf. I'm also partially blind, which you guys well know. I think I've done videos about that. Again, if you would like me to do more in-depth discussions on my disabilities, I did one for the Spoonies and I've done various videos on that. But as to whether you want to pick me to do specific videos on what it's like to be partially deaf and partially blind, please let me know in the comments down below. I really want to get feedback. It is my goal to be a disability ambassador. It's my goal to read more books like this and to do more work on this, okay? Now, this book it is based on Ellen Lark, who it is a non-fiction, but it's based on fictional. It's a fiction book, but it's based on some non-fictional aspects. And Ellen Lark is on the verge of marriage when she and her fiance receive an unexpected visit from Alexander Graham Bell. Ellen knows immediately that what Bell wants from her. Ellen is deaf, and for a time she was Bell's student, and she was learning what visible speech was. And he instructed her about speaking. Bell also told him about his dreams for the telephone, basically what would transmit the human voice across the wire. Now, on the cusp of wealth, Elle has to speak up in support of his claim for the invention, because he claimed he wrote it and other people are disputing it. But Ellen has a different story to tell, that Bell betrayed her and the other deaf pupils and cut Ellen off from the community in which she'd become truly at home. In a story that no one around Ellen wants to hear, it's important that she has her own way. Now, we do have, I'm going to see if I can include a picture at the end of this video. We do have some of the sign language. I will include this. I'm going to do it where this video won't be too long. I'll be able to include this. And this shows you some of that sign language. Now, I think for me, it is about Ellen's supposed to be sticking up for Alexander Bell, but visible speech is something that was actually happened, and it's something that still gets taught in some countries. You remember, this is done on the British Sign Language. So that some of the signs in this are for BSL, which is British Sign Language. But there are a lot of different forms of sign language, and there are a lot of different ways that the deaf community can speak. Ellen became deaf because of an infection she had when she was a child. So she was born hearing and then she became deaf. So she knew how to speak, but because she was quite young when she lost her hearing, she lost the ability. Deafness can come at any point in your life. Some people are born completely deaf. Some people are born partially deaf. Other people will lose either complete hearing loss or partial hearing loss at any point. It can happen to anyone at any point in their lives. Yes, deafness there is a stigma that deafness you're either born with it or you become deaf when you're old. That's not true. It can happen to anyone through illness, through injury, through anything. And something this book highlights is that there is a real community out there and there is a real stigma to deafness. Deafness is invisible. You can't see it. You will not know someone is deaf unless they tell you. Sometimes they have limited speech. Sometimes they can appear completely hearing. But we need to be better with the deaf and all of the different disability community aspects. Anyone that has a disability, we need to be better at helping them. And something this book talked about is that you can either hide your hearing loss or you can say it, or you can be proud of who you are. And with visible speech, these people are trying to appear not deaf, but they are. What can we do to make this better? And this book is great at highlighting it. Now, visible speech is where you are speaking and you are saying the words in your mouth. Even if you're not hearing them, you're saying them. Some people will use sign language. I've learned a little bit because at the end of this book, I went on a very brief community thing with a very introductory to hearing with someone from the deaf community, and I follow this person on Instagram. I will link her when I share this video. I'll link her on Instagram, and she runs courses to teach you BSL. Here are some of the things that I learned. I'm just going to say my name and I'll say it as my friend Harriet said to me. I need to sort of explain it as I'm going. So, E, M, I, L, Y is my name. I love books. I love cats. Thank you for listening to me. Those are some of the sign language signs I learned. I did learn a few more on there, but I'd like to go into it at a different time. But how can we help the deaf community? We need to talk slower. Not slow, because they're not stupid. We need to use our lips to talk clearly. We need to listen. We need to ask if we can help. We need to not cover our faces and cover our lips. Our expressions can help. Your eyes talk, you smile, your lips. Use your lips when you're talking. Don't talk too fast, but don't talk too slow. And think about what you're saying. That in general needs to be used more. Ask if they want to write what they want. Ask if they do sign language. But give the deaf community time. Help anyone with disabilities. Don't let this book go to waste, because this book is amazing. It's historical fiction, but so much of this is true. So much of the stigma to deafness, so much of what has happened with visible speech. My son had a speech delay. Thomas had a speech delay, as I think some of you that have been following me a long time know. He had to do speech language to learn how to talk because his mouth wasn't formed correctly. And he still goes through problems with the fact that people expect him to be able to use his words quickly or talk quickly. He doesn't have the hearing loss, but he has the speech delay still. And you can occasionally see that he needs to have time to say his words. We need to give people time. We don't need to be rushing people. We need to use this and do good for the disabled community and help others. We need to use our signs. We need to help others. And we need to celebrate this amazing book that Sarah Marsh did. I will be picking up more of it. Apparently Simon from Savage Reads has actually said that he thinks this will be on the Women's Prize long list. If this gets on the long list, I will be shouting it from the rooftops because it needs to be done. I hope that people, this controversial role in deaf education, we need to get better at educating, and I think this book does portray it really well. Obviously, at the time this is written, this is Ellen is based in America, but she was taught BSL because Alexandra Bale, was British. Something that I think, excuse me, I'm totally real on this channel. I don't know if you, obviously we don't like talking about the pandemic, but something I found very difficult during the pandemic was we had the masks. So the deaf community really struggled because we were covering our lips. They couldn't tell what people were saying. I remember struggling in my job at that because obviously I had to wear a mask, but I couldn't hear. And how many times did I fake hearing people? How many times did I guess my answers to their questions because I wasn't hearing them correctly? How many times have I been ashamed of who I am? And how many times is that shame being brought on the deaf community? It's just wrong. It's wrong to be disabled, prejudiced towards disabilities. And this book really does talk about that. And the way she stands up at the end is brilliant. And I will commend this book till my dying day because it's something that needs to be read. And I will tell anyone, if you like historical fiction, if you want books with great disability rep, and this will be something that I will be doing the Spoonies Readathon this year, this is a book I will be shouting out for everyone to read because I think they should. So, let's look at this. Read the book. I recommend it completely. But even if you don't, look for books with disability rep. Look for books that will teach you things. It doesn't cost much. Even if you don't want to do the whole learning sign language, I would still like to do it. It's something that's one of my goals I would like to do. I'm going to look into doing that soon. But even until then, I'm going to be thinking in my job, in my voluntary job, in all the different aspects of my life, how I can help the deaf community, how I can help other communities that need their support. And this is something that this did. And I will thank Sarah Marsh from the bottom of my heart for writing this. Let's help others. If you'd like any more disability rep recommendations from good books with disability rep, let me know. If you'd like me to do more reviews, let me know. And if you like this video, obviously give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling. Use a hand emoji if you got to the end of this video. And I hope you enjoy it. Take care. Bye-bye.